morning, so nice to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful day on a glorious day here in the Tennessee Valley. Memorial Day weekend is ahead. Lots of things to celebrate. Hopefully you're at home beginning the summer months and the summer break ahead. If you are home this morning and watching us and you're looking around your house thinking, that's a dingy spot there, or need to touch up this spot on the outside of your house, you are in luck because Eray Tavukcu is back on the show with us this morning. He has Painter1. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And we have so enjoyed talking to you because I think you have kind of a different approach in a way to painting, because depending on that project you're looking to do,
correct,
you need to have a painter with a different skill.
Right.
And that's the arsenal you have, are all these different skilled painters.
Correct. And it's not just a skill, it's also, I always say, it's not the paint that you put on the surface, it's the surface that you have to identify first, what kind of paint that you have to put on. There's no one fit for all. If you are putting one type of paint on every surface,
right,
you're going to start seeing those flakes and imperfections.
Right.
You have to make sure that you know the surface, and then you can identify what kind of prep work that you can do.
I was a DIYer in my former life, and my husband used to travel, and he would leave the driveways calling out, "Julie, please don't paint anything while I'm gone." And the minute he left, I was slapping on paint. But I was not skilled, see, and I didn't know. I knew the difference between gloss and high gloss and semi-gloss, but that's about as far as it went.
Well, the sheen is important. That's a good point. A lot of people, eggshell, satin, flat. It depends on the surface what you want. Also, it's how you want it to look. If you have kids and they are running all around, you may want to go with satin so you can wipe off your walls.
Right.
But if you don't have anything else and you want to touch up now and then, you may want to go with flat, because flat is easier to touch up. With satin, if you do touch up, you're going to see that residue there.
Okay, Eray, what if someone, because over time things just get dingy and you like the color, but there are some spots here and there that just don't look right.
Right.
If somebody wanted you to come in and just not have to, in a lot of houses too, sorry, but have that open format where if you paint one room, you got to paint them all.
Right.
Can you match the color of a paint as it's kind of faded if a client doesn't want to repaint the whole thing?
So we can. However, whenever we match the color, it is matching that faded color. So what I always suggest, match that color and maybe put some samples with different tones.
Okay.
Maybe 20% darker and 20% lighter. Because you may like 20% lighter, or you may like 20% darker. And if you touch up only those spots, what you're going to see, a different reflection, because what you're going to see, new paint versus old paint. It is going to make a big spot there. But because old paint is dingy, even though you match the color, now you are seeing a new paint compared to old paint.
It's funny always for me to talk to you, because it would be, I think, kind of logical to think, okay, how much can you really talk about paint?
Right.
But the truth is there's a lot to know.
Right.
About paint. So right now, this time of year, what are some common projects that people are having you tackle?
A lot of people would love to do exterior because of the weather conditions, right? And most of the houses have shutters, and they want to paint their shutters. And about 50% of the shutters on the houses, they are vinyl.
Okay.
And people would like to have them black. And black is the darkest color you can go, right? And I always recommend my clients, be careful when you paint vinyl, because it can warp. You have to make sure, yes, you have to be sure that color that you're picking is vinyl safe. And
now, does black come as a vinyl safe
color?
Yes. Okay.
It's not going to be as a black, like pure black, but there are vinyl safe black tones. So you have to make sure when you buy the paint or when you work with your contractor, they have to get vinyl safe paint.
Okay.
If not, then what's going to happen, that vinyl shutters start warping.
Okay.
And
not to be too judgy of anybody, but if you're working with a contractor and you say, please make sure you get the vinyl safe paint, Is there a way the homeowner can look at that paint can to tell that it's vinyl safe?
Yes, it will say vinyl safe.
It will say it on there.
Correct. If there's a sticker on each paint, or each paint can. If it's not vinyl safe, it says it's not recommended to use on vinyl.
Okay.
So, but the point is, if your contractor is not sure to use vinyl safe, you should shop for a different contractor already.
Yeah, right.
So it must be a vinyl safe, because otherwise you're going to be very disappointed.
Okay, let me ask you this one. Suppose you've bought a fixer-upper recently, and you've got an old house that had wallpaper everywhere, and you don't want wallpaper.
Right.
Is that easy to get removed? Should you ever paint over wallpaper? What's your philosophy on that?
So with the wallpaper, it is very tricky. We have removed wallpapers, and we saw 2 more layers wallpaper under the wallpaper. So you don't see those layers until you start removing them. If wallpaper does not have any textures, you can paint after you skim the wall to make sure it's smooth. However, the first option always should be removing the wallpaper. Sometimes you start removing the wallpaper, what you see behind the wallpaper, all that glue, that yellowish tone.
Oh yeah.
You have to remove that. You cannot just prime and paint on that glue. It's not going to work. So it's always tricky with wallpaper, unfortunately.
Do y'all ever do the textured painting? If somebody has like a wall that's been kind of damaged or something, where you can do more of the dappled look on a wall?
So we can do the spot texturing. We don't do all entire wall texturing.
Okay.
But sometimes we do repairs on the popcorn ceilings. And whenever we repair, of course, we have to match as much as possible. And that's what we are doing with the texture on the ceiling or on the wall sometimes too.
Okay. Yeah. You are very strongly a believer that the consumer, the customer, needs to know the right questions to ask.
Right.
Are there some, like 3 main ones that people should ask?
Yes. First of all, your contractor should have general liability and workers' comp. Okay. Do not underestimate the value of these 2 pieces.
Okay.
Because don't be the one that nothing is going to happen. Well, if we think like that, why do we have health insurance, car insurance, life insurance?
Right.
If it happens, then it's going to be highly costly. For example, if your contractor or painter gets hurt at your home or around your property, if they don't have the workers' comp, you're responsible for this. So make sure they have general liability and workers' comp insurance. The second thing would be the warranty. What kind of warranty they offer. It shouldn't be too complicated. What covers, what's not, and how long. And they should be presented to you regardless of the project.
Okay.
And what kind of products they are going to use. Okay. Whenever they give you a brand name, you shouldn't be okay with the brand name, because each brand has thousands of different paints. Start with 10 gallons, $10 a gallon versus $150 a gallon. Okay. So you should be asking, okay, what kind of paint though? We work with Sherwin-Williams mainly, and Sherwin-Williams has a lot of paint products. So whenever your contractor tells you, I'm going to use Sherwin-Williams, that's great, but which one?
Okay.
But because there's a contractor grade, there's a high end grade.
And then you could always call, if you're not 100% sure, Sherwin-Williams proper.
Of course.
And say, what's the quality of this particular paint?
Exactly. And they're all good quality, but some
Sure.
of them also you should be very wary about, okay, they are using this, but is it the right product for the surface?
Right.
For example, for brick, if it's not painted, you may need to use a different product. And your contractor should educate you for this matter.
Right.
Because it's important, because once you put it there, it's going to stay there.
See, there's a lot to be discussed when it comes to paint.
Exactly.
He would love to have the conversation with you, and after all of this, and once he has learned and his team has learned what it is that your project needs, then they ensure that the painter with the right experience for that project is the one coming to your house.
Correct.
Painter1.com is the website. Give him a call at 471-8684. Thank you, Eray.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Victor Cruz. It's draft day, and there are 2 key players in contention to be the #1 side pick. Will it be the sweet chick or the spicy chick? Sweet or spicy? All new sweet and spicy side chicks. Pick both.
There's always an if in life. But if you know you have overdraft protection with no